back to the next exciting episode of, I don't know what this is called, and I haven't named the guitar build or anything like that, but it's basically the left-handed Rickenbacker kit build for the Great Guitar Build-Off. The bridge pickup is pretty similar to what you get on a Rickenbacker bass, and it has some screws and some springs, and the dimensions are a little bigger than the standard one that you would have, and you can kind of see it here. Similar mounting bracket and everything. The top part looks a little wonky, a little bit out of shape, but not too bad. I have no idea what these are going to sound like, so I could probably be rerouting this body for nothing and find out that they don't sound good or whatever. But as a backup, I do have an actual bridge pickup that I could probably salvage, resurrect, and swap out if I needed to. But I'm gonna give these a go. I'm gonna give them a try. So just to give you an idea of how different this body is from the standard, I do have a template that I used in my last build, and so when you overlay it, you can kind of see the differences. Let's line up the neck pocket right here, and it looks like it's just a little bit wider here. It's a little thinner as it comes through the horn up here, and then it's not quite as big down here, but pretty close. And I'm going to use this to go ahead and route this cavity out, and I'm going to take it deeper, and it's got holes that will let your wires and everything pass through here as well as up here, so that's great. Won't have to route a channel like I did in the previous one. So that'll be cool. And this is pretty much what how it would be set up. Have this guy here, and then these guys over that, something like that. And then, like I said, we're gonna cover this with some black vinyl, so this will be black. And it's pretty tight. Well, I should probably put it on the correct way. Left-handed. This is gonna throw me off. I know I'm gonna mess something up, knock on wood, because it's left and right-handed, but yeah, I hope I catch it before I do anything too drastic. I'm gonna have to make sure I check everything twice before cutting, drilling, or whatever. It's gonna be nuts, for me anyway. I'm not a seasoned pro, but all right. Oh, and then this was the original wiring. Just kind of see what comes with the kit, because I hadn't shown these before, but I'm sure it probably worked fine. There's only the single jack, which is all you really need, but the new wiring harness has two, so I guess you can do stereo sound. I'll connect it, I'll install it, but I doubt it'll ever get used. Typically we just use the standard jack, you know. But this wiring setup looks pretty killer. And the guy that makes and sells these, super helpful. Dave Starr, Starr Guitar Systems. He also sent these sleeves, because these will go on the posts because of the type of caps or whatever, you know, that you'll put on. You would need these little sleeves, and I would never have even known. I would have just struggled through it, and he preemptively said, oh, I may have forgot to put that in, I'm going to send you a set. Totally hooked me up, and I was stoked on that, so good guy. But that's pretty much it. I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to find the center line, get ready to route this out for that bigger pickup, and then I don't know what I'm going to do after that, but we'll see. We'll get started there. So I know what you're probably thinking. Wow, Look at that mat. That thing is awesome. I'm probably the only one that's discovered this, but yoga mats, I think, are great for such an application. You know, I just saw it actually sitting in the garage, not getting used, and I said, where'd that mat come from? That thing would be perfect. So if you're looking for a mat, I mean, I'm just starting to use this. Maybe there's a downside, I don't know, but works for now. And it's finally getting used. Just saying, maybe I should probably break it out a little more often for what it's actually intended for. All right, so let's see. Oh, disclaimer also. I am not a trained professional. Whatever I do in here does not mean I know what I'm doing. Don't do it if you think I'm wrong. Do it right. Don't make me liable for anything. Okay, let's find the center line on this bad dog. So we got the neck in. It's a pretty good tight fit. Pretty happy with that. I'm gonna go ahead and take this ruler and extend the sides of the neck with my ruler. Of course, it's kind of tough to hold it and draw at the same time. If you want to know exactly how to do things, Ben Crow's videos are good for that. Sweet Tea does a great job with it. I actually saw the aligning of the bridge on Awen, I don't know how to say his name, Awen, on one of his videos. So that's also a good resource. I'll link to some of the builders that we watch in the description. So if you want to jump and check them out. Alright, I'm back. Basically, after taking a look at that bridge, taking a look at it and trying to figure out how to do all the intonation adjustments and everything with it, which should be pretty straightforward, I decided that I don't really like this bridge too much. You can easily fix it by getting some other screws so that we'll be able to actually make proper intonation adjustments and everything with it, but it just doesn't feel very high quality either, and I kind of wanted to get something a little bit better that would work really nice on this bass for my daughter. I don't want to cut any corners, so I would like to have gotten the Hipshot Rickenbacker replacement bridge that they have, but that's a little pricey. So I compromised and I got a Hipshot, what is it? KickAss. And I've used this once before as a replacement on my Fender. And it's not a direct swap for a Rickenbacker, but since this is a new build, it'll totally work. And because I've used it before, I really like it. So I think this will be a great replacement. And it wasn't that much compared to like what the Rickenbacker style replacement costs. And you gotta love Amazon, at least I do, because I got the decision, or I made the decision to switch it up last night, and it's here today. So it's pretty rad. And yeah, I'm not gonna be doing the string through like I originally had planned to do. I'm gonna probably just mount it and string it up regularly in the back instead of going through the body. But all in all, I think it's the right decision. Here's the original one. for comparisons. I really just don't like the way it looks, to be honest. So here we are, bridge number 3, and I think this is going to be it. At least I hope so, because I don't want to buy any more bridges. I'm going to just take down a majority of it with this Shinto Rasp, and then kind of fine tune it a little bit with some of these other files, and then sand that stuff later, but shouldn't be too bad. Knock on wood. Here goes. I see YouTube videos and everybody's always like, oh man, my battery died, you missed that whole section. I'm like, how can that possibly happen without you noticing it? But yeah, my battery just died, and so I'm putting some on the charger. I'm glad I saw it or noticed it. Hope you didn't miss too much. But we're back to finishing up this carve. Here's the last one we did, and we'll fine-tune that with some sanding. Here's the other one. So nothing major, just some minor comfort carves, not real big fat ones, and obviously nothing on this side, because what do you do when you have binding? I guess you leave that hard edge. You don't even get a nice soft round over. But is what it is. Nobody said being a gifted musician wasn't painful. Alright, one of the other things we got to figure out is if there's room to add a second jack so that we have the capability of Ric-o-sound, but if not, and we only have the one, I don't know, maybe I'll bury the other one somewhere inside this panel or this cavity if there's room. So that's what we'll be looking at next. Okay, so turns out could use a couple of these guys right next to each other, but then it spaces the jack area, the input area, a little far. And because I don't really want it spaced out that much, I don't want to run into the this little cutout right here, so I kind of want to keep them pretty close together. Kind of see the existing hole. So I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and drill a hole for this little bracket I found that I had. So it'll go about like that. It's a lot cleaner. So I'm basically just gonna use a 7/8 bit, drill into here. Hopefully you don't break out the middle section, but if I do, I don't think that'll even matter, but try and keep it as clean and pro looking as possible. So let's go ahead and mark these holes. I figure I might as well fill this little hole too. I got the glue out and I got the toothpicks, so let's do this. All right. That's all she wrote. I think that's all the holes we got to fill.